welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial we will be making this beautiful rainbow colored dress in the chevron stitch. If you are interested in this video, please keep watching and we'll get right into it. Okay, for this project I am using Lion brand Mandala in the color Gnome. It is a lightweight number 3 yarn, 590 yards. For this project, I will require 2 balls of this yarn. Also my 3.5mm crochet hook, stitch markers, scissors, and a yarn needle to weave in my ends. Let's get started. So this is the measurement that you are working with. So it's from shoulder bone to shoulder bone in the front and in the back. What I did was I took a piece of yarn and pretty much pull it over my head and made sure it sat on one side of my shoulder bone to the next. Then I took a tape measure and measured the length of that piece of yarn, then made a chain to that length, and then on the multiples of 14 chart that I pulled up online, I checked to see how close the number I got was to any of the multiples of 14 listed on that chart. I had 100 and I want to say 51, and on the chart the next or the closest number in the multiple of 14 that matched that or was close enough to that was 154. So that's where I got my starting chain from. Okay. So this project is worked in multiples of 14. So for a medium, which is my size, I did a chain of 154. My foundation chain is 154. If you are small, then you would minus 28 stitches from that. If you are large, you would add 28. If you are an extra large, you would add 28, then another 28. Okay, so moving on. Okay, I'm gonna start with a chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and this will count as our first double crochet. Now we're gonna do 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 chain spaces for a total of 4, counting the chain 3 as our first. So that's 2 and 3, and in the next stitch we're going to put 2 double crochet in that 1 stitch. Now chain 3, and in the very next stitch another 2 double crochets, and that forms the top of our peak, like so. Okay, so now to go down on this side, we are going to mimic what's on the other side. So that is 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And 4. Okay, and now to form the valley, you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th, 1 double crochet. And that forms the valley right there. So you have a peak and a valley. Alright, and we're working this side over here. So again, it's a total of 4 double crochet, 1 in each chain space. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the 5th stitch, we will put 2 double crochets in that 1 stitch. Okay, now chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and in the very next stitch, 2 double crochets. now we're working down to the valley, so it will be 4 double crochets, 1 in each of the next chain space. 2, 3, and 4. And now to form that valley, we are going to skip 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th you put 1 double crochet. And now going up, it will be another 3 double crochets, 1 in each chain space, for a total of 4. And in the 5th one, it will be 2 double crochets and a chain 3. 2 and 3, and in the very next stitch, 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And then you do your 4 individual double crochet, 1 in each chain space going down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we form our valley, which is skip 3 chain spaces, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th 1 double crochet. And that is the repeat for this round. So after the valley, all you gotta do is look at the previous side, so you have something to follow. So after the valley, you know you'll do 4 double crochets. You've already have 1 done, so you'll do 3 more, and then in the 5th stitch you'll put 2 double crochets, chain 3, then in the other stitch another 2 double crochets, then you'll do complete the other side, which would take you down to another valley. And you'll keep going for this round. Just keep repeating that pattern until you get back to your starting chain, and I'll meet you there. Alright, so coming up to the end of this first round, so I still have a couple stitches remaining there. I'm just gonna ignore those and slip stitch, not in the chain space, but in the very next stitch to complete that round. Now I'm going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to skip the next stitch and 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the next stitch and 1 double crochet in that one, and chain 1, and in the center I'm going to do 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. So I've done 1 double crochet, a chain 1, 1 double crochet into the center. Now chain 3, and again 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, all in that center chain 3 space. All right, and chain 1, and then in the very next stitch after the chain 3 space, you're going to put 1 double crochet. Now chain 1, skip the next stitch and 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the next stitch and 1 double crochet into the next, chain 1, and you will notice this leaves you with 1 stitch on this side. So we're going to skip that stitch, we're going to skip the first stitch on the next side and go to the second, and that's where you'll put your 1 double crochet. And now chain 1 and continue the pattern. Skip the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the next stitch and 1 double crochet in the next, and this one is the one right before the chain 3 space. Now working into the chain 3, we're going to chain 1, 1 double crochet into the chain 3 space, chain 1, 1 more double crochet into the chain 3 space, now chain 3, 3, and 1 double crochet, chain 1 into that same chain 3 space, and again another double crochet chain 1, all in that same chain 3 space. If you notice, we will be decreasing in the valley, which is where we skip these 2 stitches over here, and we'll be increasing in the peaks. Alright, so moving forward, I've already chained 1. You never skip this very first stitch. That's the first stitch you go into after the chain 3 space. So 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip that last stitch on this side, skip the first stitch on the other side, and 1 double crochet in the next. And that will be the repeat for this round. So again, it is 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and then when you get up to the chain 3 spaces, you put 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, all in that space. Then chain 1, and you will begin with the very first stitch. And that is basically it for round 2. Keep going, and I will meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so coming up to the end of this round, I'm just going to slip stitch in that chain 3 or chain 4 space to join, and that does not count as a double crochet. So for the next round, chain 3, we're going to skip this space, move on to the second space, and you're going to put 2 double crochet in that space, like so. Then 2 double crochets in the next space, so in that chain 1 space, then 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, which will bring us to our center peak. So we're going to put 2 double crochets into that chain 3 space, chain 3, and 2 more double crochets all in that same space. Now 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 2 in the next, 2 in the next, and just like on this side where we skipped the first one, on this side we're also going to skip the last one. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, then the chain 3. Over here I have 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, and then on this side, to keep things even, we're going to skip this stitch. This is our center between both sides, so we're going to skip that also. And then on this side we also need to skip 1. So the way you check to make sure you have the same amount of spaces that you started with is from here you would count, you know that 2 is going to be in here for this side, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So you know you're going to start your 2 double crochets into this stitch. So I hope that that's not confusing for you. So let me go over that again. So once you do this side going down to the valley, this middle stitch is our valley, right where my finger is, that's your valley. So on this side you want to skip 1, you want to skip the valley, and then on this side you want to skip 1 space. So you know you start at the second space on this side. Just ignore the valley, we're skipping that regardless. So skip 1 on this side, skip 1 on this side, and of course skip the valley. So your next stitch would be here. So you're skipping 3 spaces altogether, and you'll put 2 double crochets into this space, 2 into the next, 2 into the next, and 2 into that chain 3 space, then chain 3, and that's the first side of that peak completed. into that same chain 3 space, we're going to put 2, because now we're working going down to the next valley. So 2 in that space, 2 in the next, 2 in the next, and we should have a total of 8. I have 2, 4, 6, so I know I need to put 2 more. 1 and 2. And I'm skipping the very next space, skipping the valley, skipping the first space on the other side, and going into the second space of the other side. So I'm skipping 3 stitches. 3 spaces. 1 from here, 1 in the middle, 1 from here. And again, 2 stitches into each, going up to the center peak. And when I say 2 in each, I'm sure you understand, I mean 2 in each chain 1 space. Okay, up to the chain 3 where we put 2 and chain 3, then again repeat 2 double crochet in the chain 3, then 2 in the next 3 spaces before the valley, and that will be the repeat for this round. Okay, so let me just get down to the valley. All right, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Skip this stitch, skip the center stitch, skip the first stitch off the other side. Then we do 2 in each space for a total of 8, chain 3, then 2 more in the chain 3 space, then 2, 4, 6 more for 8, then skip. Then you will keep doing that all the way until you get to where we started, because that's the repeat for this round, and that is pretty simple. So keep going, and I will meet you at the end of this round. Okay, at the end of round 3, I have 1, 2 spaces, and then this chain 3s. So I'm gonna slip stitch into the double crochet to join, like so. So that way I skipped 3 spaces altogether. Hope that made sense. Okay, now for the next round, chain 4, and we are going to repeat what we did on row 2. So we're going to skip the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip this one, 1 double crochet here, chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet there, chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet into that last double crochet before the chain 3. Now chain 1, 1 double crochet into the chain 3 space, chain 1, 1 more double crochet into that chain 3 space, and that's one side of our peak. So for the next side, still working in that chain 3 space, chain 3, 1 double crochet into that space, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet all into that center peak, chain 1, and again don't forget the very first stitch. That's where you put your first double crochet, or your next, whichever, and chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet. And if you notice, with each round we are increasing. So we get down here, chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and we have 1 stitch remaining there right before the center peak, the center valley right here. So you're going to skip this stitch on this side, skip the first stitch on the next side, and double crochet into that second stitch. So it is pretty much the same thing we did last time. It's just that now we have more stitches to work with because we've been increasing. Okay, so it's just chain one, skip one, one double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one, one double crochet in the next, chain one double crochet, chain one double crochet in the center stitch, chain three and repeat, one double crochet, chain one double crochet in that same space. Now chain one, and in the very next stitch, one double crochet, chain one, skip the next, one double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one, one double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one, one double crochet in the next, which brings us back to our valley. We're gonna skip the last stitch and skip the first stitch of the next side and one double crochet into the next, and this is our repeat for this round. So it's just one double crochet, chain one, skip one, one double crochet, and then when you get up to the center peak into that chain three space, you will put one double crochet, chain one double crochet, chain three, one double crochet, chain one double crochet, then chain one double crochet in the very next stitch, and continue. So go ahead and continue that pattern for the remainder of this round, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so coming up to the end of this round, I am gonna skip that last stitch right there and join into this one. So not in the chain three or chain four, but into that space. Okay, and now I'm going to chain three, and the next row is going to be this one where we put two double crochets into each space. So this row we had 8 double crochets, 2, 4, 6, 8. So in this one we're going to have 10. So this is how you'll know how many spaces to skip. So you'll count 2 from the center chain 3 space. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I know I'll skip this first space and then I'll start here. So it'll be 2 double crochets here, 2 here in the chain 1 spaces, that's where we're working, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 in the chain 3 space. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And that's one side. Next we're going to chain 3, and working the other side we're going to start with our 2 in the chain 3 space, 2 in the next, 2 in the next, 2 in the next, and then 2 more in the next chain 1 space, and that should give us a total of 10 on this side. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And this takes us down to our peak, our valley. So we have 1 space remaining on this side, 1 in the center. So we want to have the same thing on this side, so we're going to skip the next one. This is the exact same thing we did in the previous round. So that's basically the repeat for this round. So you want to make sure you have 10 double crochets. So you skip 3 spaces when you get down to the valley, skip 3 spaces, 2 double crochets in each stitch on one side, 2 double crochets in each stitch for a total of, not in each stitch, in each chain 1 space, for a total of 10. Then after that you will do your open round, which will be the chain 4, skip 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, that same one, and you will keep repeating this 2-row repeat until you have about 9 or 10 rows. So go ahead and complete your, let's say 9. I'm just gonna do 9 rows because I think that's wide enough for me to carve out my sleeves. It's totally up to you. You can go 9, 10, 11, whichever works better for you. You just, I guess, slip it on over your head. Decide where your arm holes are gonna be, and then based on that you decide if you want to have more coverage of the shoulder, because that's basically what this 9, 10, 11, 12 rows is going to give you, shoulder coverage. So whatever you decide, you can stop at that point. So for me, I'm going to go for another 9. I'm going to go for 9 rows totally, and then I'll come back and we'll go from there. All right, so I am about to complete row 9. So at this point I am up to 14 double crochets. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I will skip the last 2 stitches on that side, and I'll skip the chain 3 or the chain 4, yeah, the chain 3, skip that, skip the next double crochet and go into the second one. And this is how we will work this round moving forward. So you will always skip the chain, the first double crochet, and slip stitch into the second when you do these 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space. And then what we'll do next, I've already done, is right where our center, right where our chain 3 space is, that will be the center back of your dress or your top. So you want to line that up and back evenly. So you just want to put that in the center and then put the front onto the back like so. And what I've done is these 2 over here at one end will be my armhole. So right where this valley is, I've put my stitch marker. So this is going to be one arm. And then over on the other side, I've done the same thing. So the two peaks on this end, I lined them up together, and then the valley of this side and the valley on that side, I have put a stitch marker to make my second armhole. So moving forward, we will only be working between the armhole for the body of our dress or top, whichever it is that you're making. Alright, so moving forward, our pattern will continue. Okay, so row 10, you will chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the pattern will continue just as we were doing before. So it will now be the open row. So skip the next stitch and 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet in the next, and that is the repeat for this round, just like we've always been doing. This project just completely worked in just the 2 row repeat. Okay, and again, when you get to the center, it is 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, all in that same space. And then moving forward, chain 1, 1 double crochet in the very first stitch, chain 1, skip one double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one double crochet in the next, and then one double crochet in that one before the last one, chain one, and you will skip the last one over here, skip the first one over the next side, and continue. And then you'll just keep going. When you get to the underarm, right when you get up to your first stitch marker, you put your last double crochet in this double crochet before the last one here, and then you would continue in the, you skip the first one on the other side and then continue in this one. So we're no longer working in this portion, we are working around the center part, so not around the arms. That's the only difference. Alright, so just keep going with row 10. One double crochet, chain one, skip one double crochet all the way around to the next round, all the way around to the beginning, and then we'll go from there. Finishing up my 10th row, I am just going to slip stitch in the top of that chain 3 to join. Okay, so this is what I have so far. So this is my armhole, and I worked around, not going through the armhole on either side. Okay, so at this point, the next row would be the row of 2 double crochet in each chain 2 space, in each chain 1 space, sorry. This row had 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Had 14 double crochets. This row would have 16 because the pattern increases. However, I don't want to keep increasing. I'm fine with 14. So what I will do to make sure I don't increase to 16 is to count my spaces. So I know I'll have 2 in here, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So I know I'll have to start here. So I'll have to skip 2 spaces. When I chain 3, I skip that space, and start here to keep my double crochets at 14. On this side, I'll do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. It's 14, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Which will put me about here. So now I have 2 spaces on this side, then the valley. So remember, before we usually have 1 space, then the valley, then another space. Now that we're increasing, we now have 2 spaces before the valley. So moving forward, to keep my double crochets at 14, I know I have to leave 2 spaces open on this side, then the valley, then 2 spaces on the next. So I'm no longer skipping 3 spaces, I'm now skipping 5 spaces. I hope that makes sense to you. If you want to increase yours to 16, to 16 double crochets, because you think you need a more space for this, for the section between the arms, totally up to you. You just want to make sure that when you get to this round, you count your spaces before you start working, so you know what to do next. Like I said, I'm keeping mine at 14, so I will just keep going. And after my double crochet rounds, it will be another open round, and the same thing again. Just to keep it consistent, I will just count my spaces at the beginning so I know how much spaces I need to leave on this side and in the valley, and on the other side. In the valley will always be one space, but at least counting the first side will tell me how much I need to leave each time. So at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish my dress, because that's basically it moving forward. You just keep working in around between the armpits. We're no longer working over here, we're just working this part. So only the parts that are colored in yellow at this time, and then move down until I have my desired length. If you're going for a top, then you just continue until you're satisfied. If you're going for a dress, keep going until you're satisfied. And that is basically it for this project. Okay, so I have completed my dress. This is what it looks like. I have used 2 balls of the Mandala yarn. This is what is left. Not a lot. And the only thing I added that I didn't put in this video is a picot edging around the bottom and around the arms of the dress. There are tons of videos on YouTube how to do a picot edging, so I didn't think I needed to get into that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.